Hello there, you're welcome to another episode of the Naija Football Show. And today we have different topics to talk about, different subjects to talk about today. And one, Eguavon, is he still the coach? Is he still the boss? Because in the past weeks we've got sort of different opinions on the matter. And Mikel B say something about someone else that may have his eyes on the job as well. And then we've got Victor Osimhen, his debut, much anticipated debut at Galatasaray is coming close. It's going to be today. We're going to want to know what your opinions are. Do you think he will hit the ground running at Galatasaray? And what to know your thoughts and opinions are on the matter as well. And then we'll be also looking at possible starting lineups. And this is more of something fun, more of a fun thing to do. I've put up a starting lineup, not I wouldn't say tentative starting lineup, but more of a starting lineup, a possible starting lineup. I think that's the word I'm searching for. So it contains some regulars that we know and some new faces as well that may need nationality switches to get them to represent Nigeria for us to see the sort of starting lineup. And then as well, we're talking about an emerging talent that plays in Italy for Sampdoria. Could it be the new Pelo for the Super Eagles? Because that's something that we need really lack, which is a creative midfielder, someone that can be on the ball and pop the ball about. And I'll be sharing a little video clip with us here, and then we can all see and give our 2 cents about it. And also, if you'd want to join the conversation, the link is on X on the Ugamada Football channel, and as well as it's up here in the chat. So if you want to join, you can click on the link and come on screen as well. And make sure you just allow access to your microphone and your camera, because that's the only way you can come on and I can hear and see you, and the audience can also hear and see you as well. So, and I'll be talking about some new shows that will be coming up on the channel, and want to know what your thoughts and opinions are on that one. So for now, we go straight into it. Eguavon, Augustine Eguaveon, the coach, he first of all he worked as technical director. When I was working as technical director with the NFF, and then with the whole Lawadia incident, he was brought in as an interim coach, interim manager to manage the Super Eagles going into the AFCON games. But after the AFCON games, what did we hear? After the two AFCON qualifying games, what did we hear? Yeah, he's quit. He said he was just, in the job for just 2 games. And then that was the rumor. That was some people even came up with quotes. But, it turned out that he said, no, he hasn't quit. He's going to go back and speak with the NFF, and they'll look for ways and talk about how the team can be moved forward. So what are your thoughts and opinions on this one? Do you think he's done enough to stay in the job, or do you think he should be gone and someone else should come in, a new face? What do you think about this? For me, I feel Eguavon has done well enough. I think he's done well enough to keep the job, in my humble opinion. And if you're getting someone, it must be someone who's high level, high level. And I'll say this: while Jose Peseiro did well to get the team to the final, which is brilliant, to the AFCON final, that was brilliant in my opinion. He did well, came up with the style, came up with the pattern. Not very attractive, but very effective, and got the team to the final. And as they say, you don't sort of win, you don't play tournaments, you win tournaments, and he got the team to the final. So that was good. But Eguavon has come up with a style that is more attractive to watch, creates more chances, it utilizes the wingers that we seem to create every other week. There's a new winger that's out of Nigeria, and very unlucky not to get this all 6 points, but got a respectable 4 points, still topping the group, then Group D, and by the next set of qualifying fixtures, I think would qualify. So for me, if you're getting someone else, that person must be very special, in my opinion, must be a special manager, and you want someone who's going to come in and build on what Eguavon has done, in my humble opinion. So you don't want to bring someone that come and tweak and change the style completely. Because what we're looking for someone to build on what he's done. Because I would raise my hands up to say I was a bit skeptical, about his appointment, because I know what happened the first time. The first time he was manager or head coach of the Super Eagles, he played good football, attacking football in the group stages at the Nations Cup. And then what happened afterwards? The team sort of lost steam and they lost at the second round or even the quarterfinals or the second round stage, but very early. So I was like, oh, is he coming in? What is he going to do? Is he going to be any good? Or is just going to be one of those ones where they've given a 94 graduate or one of the ex Super Eagles from 1994 set, the managerial job, just to sort of placate them. But no, he came in and he came up with a style immediately. Okay, I can see okay, stage. Yeah, nice to have you on, Charles. Okay, so now I want to get your opinion on this really, really quick now. Eguaveon, what do you think about it? Because there are rumors that came up to say he's leaving the job, and then then recently he came up to say um, he's still the boss, he's still in charge. So first off, because we have not spoken since the AFCON qualifier, what do you think about the performance generally? And then what do you think about Eguaveon? Should he stay? Should he go?
Okay. Thank you very much, Hugo, for bringing me up on the show.
Yeah.
Foremost, I want to say that Eguaveon, I think the few games he has been in, it shows that he understands the team. The man he has been in around the Super Eagles, not just this present team, other teams, he handle them, and he's been outstanding in doing the interim job. I think it should still continue because for now we need stability in the team.
Mm-hmm.
We need someone who understands how the team operates, and I think he has that requisite experience to handle the team. So he should continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I share your opinion with that, but I just want to be some sort of devil advocate kind of. What do you say to people who say, we need a foreign manager, we need a foreign coach? What do you say to them?
Right now, if you look at the quality of coaches we've been getting in the name of foreign coaches, find out that we've not been doing a good job. You
Hmm.
see people who are out of football business for a long time just because of their skin color, says he become foreign coach. You watch Iguavon, even when he's been in charge of the team, he's done better than these so-called foreign coaches.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think it's important right now.
Yeah. So for me, it's like if you're getting a foreign coach, you must get a very good coach. It's not just getting a foreign coach because he's a foreign coach. And
Yeah.
Nigerians can be a bit funny because you can get a foreign coach now and everyone will complain that you've not gotten a top class foreign coach. Because for one, you're not getting Klopp, you're not getting Pep Guardiola, you're not getting Ateta, you're not even getting new boy Enzo Maresca, you're not getting any any of those coaches on that level. So you probably be getting a coach that will be coach Zambia, coach I don't know, South Africa, coach Egypt, or maybe coach a couple of low level teams in Europe. Those are the coaches you'll be getting, like Bruno Labbadia. He had coached a lot of teams in the German league, but he didn't quite last, in those jobs, like 6 months, he'll be there and then he was gone. So for me, I think, especially when you look at Pesero played the same three at the back, 3-5-2, though his was 3-5-2. And then Eguavoen was coming almost immediately. And then he played with three defenders at the back with two wingers and two wing backs. So a very, very attacking, formation. And for me, that's just sort of like, how do I say it? It's kind of like puts to bed all these things that people say that when a coach comes in, he needs 10 years, he needs 9 months, to get his style of play, across to the team. So for me, I think I share your opinion. For me, I think he should stay. He's shown us good football, which is something we have not seen in a long time. It's just that there are some mistakes here and there. And I feel in the midfield, there's a need that rather there's a gap that is to be filled in that midfield. In my opinion, for me, Alex, it will be if you're playing that 2-man midfield, it will be no should not be there because after 10 minutes he just loses his strength. So I know he's a former Arsenal man, and you may have some sympathy for him. But what do you think about that midfield?
True. You're very correct. You're very correct. What the Super Eagles team lacks right now, you see that creativity we have during JJ Okucha's time. You know, the midfielder that can create, the midfielder that can do something out of the blues. You know, when things are going wrong, there's someone that's just a magic. You know, we don't have that. And Alex will be here. He came in with JJ Okucha's nephew, this, that, and that, but he doesn't have it.
Yeah,
He's not that person. Different kind of footballer altogether.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Right.
so we need someone of that nature. Not you have the place. See, the midfielders there are just almost like same kind of players. So we need something different.
Yeah, and for people who have been watching this, I've watched a few episodes of the Naija Football Show. Some people think I hate you, will be. Oh, I don't like you, will be. But for me, if you before you're given that right not to do box to box work, you must be super special. That's when you get the ball, you perform magic on the ball, like Eden Hazard, Mo Salah, Messi. Those guys don't need to work, as in just stay where you are. Because once the ball gets to you, you do something magical or extraordinary on the ball. So there's a video I want to share because there's this player. He used to play for, is it Beyond Limits? There's an academy in Nigeria. Now he joined Sampdoria, in Italy. So Akin Simera, I think he has everything that Nigerian is in terms of, because one thing we lack is someone who can hold the ball, control pace of play. So he's Ebenezer Akin Simera. I hope this comes up and doesn't disrupt this too much.
Now, while we're waiting for the video to come up, I just want to say, okay, so go ahead.
So I'll just, for the few minutes you've seen him, you can see what I'm trying to talk about. Let me just take this off the screen first. So Ebenezer Akin Simero. So you can see what I mean when I say he's the kind of player that is needed. Someone that can help the team control play. Okay, so just you wanted to say something first before the video came
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I just tried to reminisce a little. Um, try to take my mind back to when Alex Iwobi was in Arsenal
Mm-hmm.
and when he recently joined the Super Eagles. You will see, or the video he played now, you will see an Alex Iwobi in his young age. He had this control. He was in the midfield playing that number 10 role. He was doing very well. I remember very well that the Super Eagles team then was being carried by Alex Iwobi and Kelechi Iheanacho. Whenever they are not in that team, the team struggles because of why or what of they were playing. For me, Alex Iwobi was playing at the top level with Arsenal at that time. Now his career in the Super Eagles team and football in his club football, he dwindled when he left Arsenal.
Okay.
So that affected him so much. But right now, he's not the Alex Iwobi that we used to know. He's not.
Yeah.
He actually
So
needs someone to fill that position. The video
yeah.
he showed now, yeah, that guy is actually good. He's good. He has that
Yeah. So for me,
energy.
like you need someone in that role. And each time I look at people, they say, "Oh, Livy will be there." When you're playing that 2-man midfield, especially if you want to go forward with that type of midfield in a three at the back type of play, type of formation, right? And you're playing with those two midfielders. Those guys, they do sort of two sort of jobs because they go box to box, they defend the attack, and they also have to be creative on the ball. So it's not just someone who you have to have the energy to run. So for me, I think Ebenezer Kinsimero, for sure, I think he's someone that should be called in, and he's not a doesn't have dual nationality, so you don't have to beg him. He's just he's a Nigerian, so you don't have to say leave this country and play for us, leave that country and play for us. And then there's this Chelsea player that is unknown at Southampton, although he has French and Nigerian nationality. So Leslie Ugochukwu. So I think that could be another player that could be, looked at. Now, on to the next thing I want to talk about is something that, sort of pained my spirit because I was thinking, I was already planned the video, I'd made a thumbnail, for it, how I will rejoice and shout, but my people just bent my hands. They just bent my hands and broke my wings and my excitement, So is this guy, Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen. Because I was so happy. I said, wow, Victor Osimhen coming to Chelsea. Because people don't get that to succeed as a striker at Chelsea, you have to have of course, footballing ability and all, but you must have that madness. What Liverpool may call weary. You must have that madness about you. Like Drogba had it, Diego Costa had it. He has it as well. You can see even when he celebrates a goal, how it, even how he goes about it, and the amount of goals he scored for Napoli. He scored goals all throughout his career, apart from Wolfsburg, where he struggled. After that, was 17 tournament, he struggled, and then moved to Belgium, and all the while he scored all those goals. So, and for me, just to give some background, from the moment Chelsea were linked to him, I knew they were going to make it all about money, and the deal will not go through. At least I suspected it, because when it started, they say, oh, he had buyout clause of 130 million euros. That is too expensive. As if the buyout clause, you must pay it. You mustn't pay buyout clause. A buyout clause is just there to say, if you don't want to discuss with the club, you want to go straight to the player, just pay the buyout clause and you can negotiate with the player directly. But you can also negotiate with the club for a particular amount and get the player, and then you have the right to speak to the player. Like, well, in Spain, you have lots of players who are on crazy buyout clause, like 100 million euros, 200 million, some are on 1 billion. Like that small boy, what's his name? Lamine Yamal, that Spanish boy. By the time he turns 18 next year, he will be on 1 billion, 1 billion euros buyout clause. But nobody's going to say you must pay that amount. So for me, it pained me that Chelsea couldn't complete the deal for Victor Osimhen and all that, and they left it late. So first off, what do you think about his move to Galatasaray? What do you think about the whole thing? Why, apart from Chelsea, no other club that needed a striker went for him? So what do you think about his move to Galatasaray, first of all? Can you hear me? Is he still there, or is it gone off? It's gone off. So for me, while Charles is trying to get reconnected, for me, I'll say this: his move to Galatasaray, I think that's the best he could get in the time, that was available. Mikel Obi had come out to say, oh, they were trying to negotiate, they just ran out of time. But that made no sense to me, because if you wanted to sign someone like Victor Osimhen, you don't wait till 3 minutes to go. You don't wait till the transfer window is about to end before you go about signing him. So now, keeping Chelsea aside, from a Nigerian perspective, Victor Osimhen going to Galatasaray is very good. It's not a Chelsea, it's not an Arsenal, it's not a Real Madrid, obviously, but at least he goes there to play competitive football in a team that will be competing in European tournaments in a team that can win, the Turkish league, and he'll be the first name on the sheet. He can go there to build, his profile back up again. And if he does that, then the sky's the limit for him. He can go to any other club, especially with the January break that is there and the new bar clause that is there. And from a Nigerian perspective, very good because he's playing, he's keeping in shape, he's keeping in form, so you don't have that rustiness with all the internationals that are coming in, especially for the AFCON and World Cup qualifiers. So he'll be ready to go and would easily fit into what the would easily fit in and will not have that ring rust and will just go on and play and hopefully score lots of goals for Super Eagles. And then today, I think his debut will be against Residence-Spor, where we have another Nigerian as well, Olawunyi there. I think it was someone that Finidi gave his debut, but I don't think it was too spectacular in those games, especially the qualifying games. And I wouldn't blame the Olawunyi too much because Finidi didn't even play him in the right position. The guy was an attacking midfielder and he ended up playing as a winger and some other places other than that 10 row behind the strikers. So that aside, I think this is a good move for Victor Osimhen. It's not the top club, not a top move he wanted to embark on. And from this, I want to give advice to any Nigerian player out there. I don't know if you watch this channel, if you watch Ugama's football channel, but I want to say this. Before you sign any contract, or rather, when you're coming to the end of your contract, and if you want to move, if you don't want to move, fine, sign whatever contract they give you, as long as the money is right for you, as long as your weekly wages, are right, that's fine. But if you want to move, if you know that you want to move, that you want to leave, do not sign a contract extension. Don't sign a contract extension. Because if you sign a contract extension, what will happen is there's going to be a crazy buyout clause in there. That's for sure. Because before a club will decide to give you a new contract, they would have calculated some things. First, this player will have invested XY amount of money, into this player or on this player. So we don't want to lose this player on a free. So if you want to move, then the club then becomes open to negotiating with other clubs to see that you move. Now, if you must sign a new contract or a contract extension, insist that the buyout clause is low. Because look at Erling Haaland. When he left BVB, Borussia Dortmund, everyone must have been expecting, before he leaves, maybe to be £100 million or £150 million or £120 million because of his form. But what happened? They negotiated and had, was it £50 million or thereabout as a buyout clause? And that was mad. Man City just pounced on it. I'm sure their owner just paid it out of his back pocket. And then he's at Man City and look at what he's doing. So for me, I think Osimhen is someone that Chelsea missed in the summer. There are lots of players they signed, good decent players, Jadon Sancho, João Felix. It's not like these players are not good. They are good, but they're not the profile of player that Chelsea actually need, in my opinion. I don't know what your opinions are. So now, speaking about new players or players that can shake up the team a bit, I will share this sort of lineup with everyone and let's see what you think. Now, in this lineup, there's certain players that will need nationality switches before they can be part of this lineup, but I think we need to have bodies in the building when it comes to Nigerian players because sometimes we rely on the first 11 and when the injuries happen, we don't know what to do. So I'm looking at Caleb Okoli. Caleb Okoli is a centre-back, a powerful mobile centre-back, plays for Leicester, plays for Leicester City in the Premier League, in the English Premier League. He's a very good defender and will be someone that can be part of this three-man, defense. Part of this three-man defense. Since you're going with the back three, you need your defenders to be mobile, aggressive. So that's someone I think that should be there. Go and speak to him, convince him to play for the Super Eagles. I know some people say, let's focus on the ones we have, the home-based players we have. Let's not go and worry ourselves with people who have dual nationalities. No, if someone that is Noni Madueke can play for England, which he has his right to, I think Caleb Okoli can be convinced to play for Nigeria as well. Look at the French national team. Look at how deep their talent pool is. When one player is injured, easily replaced. But the player is injured is easily replaced. No problem, no worries. Tosin Adarabayo as well. Because right now, the only controller or central back we have is, just Ekong. Just Ekong. And each time he's missing, it's like everything's about to collapse. And he's not, obviously not getting any younger. He's 36 years old. 36 years old. So that means he's very close to his retirement. And what you don't want is, you don't want him to retire and then there's a World Cup qualifier coming up in the next few weeks. And then you start to run helter-skelter trying to find some defender to take his place. Tosin Andarabayo, there were reports at some point that he was looking to play for Nigeria, switch his nationality to Nigeria. I think the NFF and other administrators should take the necessary step to get him to, play for the country. So I wonder what your thoughts are. Leave it in the chat there, and also you can click the link if you want to be part of this conversation. The link is there in the chat. You can click it and join the conversation. Now let's move on. We have Igor Ogbu. This boy is a special defender, a special defender, and I'm really glad he's Nigerian. He just left for the NFF to do what is needful, to do what is right, and look out for this boy and get him to play for the country, because he is the kind of defender you need. And I say this again, especially if you want to play the way, Augustine Eguaveon plays. If you want to play the way Augustine Eguaveon plays, you need to get this boy. So, because those three at the back, you need your defenders to be fast, aggressive, and be good passers of the ball. Igor Ogbu is a very, very good passer of the ball. Very good passer of the ball. He plays for Slavia Prague. This is a player that the NFF should do all they can to make sure they get this boy to play for Nigeria, because we need more bodies. So Ola Aina at right wing back, we already know him, so that's fine. No worries about that. Ebenezer Akinsimero, I've shared some of his videos. He just has Nigerian nationality, and so he should be convinced. He should be invited to the national team, because he has everything to be a quality midfielder. For me, each time I speak about Alex Iwobi, people want to sound like, oh, you hate Alex Iwobi, or you don't like him, you don't rate him. He's a good player, but he doesn't suit the sort of formation Augustine Eguaveon wants to play. And one thing I spoke about Augustine Eguaveon, he gave him some minutes in the first game, but after the first game, we realized this guy doesn't suit my style of play. A few minutes into the game, he always goes out of energy, always loses energy, he becomes exhausted, and is really of no use in the midfield anymore. So for me, Ebenezer Akinsimero is someone that should be gone for, invited, because he used to play for Beyond Limits, and then he's gone to Sampdoria in the Serie B, and he's playing very well. He has that control, he has it all. I'm not saying he's the finished article yet, but he has it all. In my opinion, he has it all. Strength, power, passing, and his game will always grow. But it's someone you want to have in that midfield. It's someone you really want to have in that midfield. And then Leslie Ugochukwu. Leslie Ugochukwu, for me, is a player that you also want to have, because he has that physicality as well. I think he's 6'3" or 6'4". He has that physicality and can be playing and should be playing in that midfield. Because for me, like I said, Alex Iwobi, you've done your best. You've done all you can do. Goodbye, sayonara, stay home. Leslie Ugochukwu should be invited and try to work on getting his nationality switch. First of all, getting his nationality switch to Nigeria, and then inviting him to the national team. So these two players, I think, can contribute greatly to the team, in my opinion. And then, of course, we have Bruno Yemachi. He's shown himself in the last Nations Cup. Felt so sad for him, felt bad for him. He didn't even get a minute, I don't think. Even when Zaidu Sanusi was injured, he didn't get any minutes. So he's come up, and in a system that suits him, you've got three defenders at the back. He doesn't really need to worry that much about defending. Of course, he will contribute as much as he can, but the burden of defending isn't only on him, and he can do the attacking job as a left wing back. So I think brilliantly, he's already in the team, so that's fine. And then Sam Edozie Sam Edozie. This is a special player, in my opinion. He can dribble his man, both footed. I know sometimes when you mention players like this, you say, oh, what about Samuel Chukwueze? What about Ademola Lookman? No one is saying, certainly, I am not saying you replace Ademola Lookman with Sam Edozie. No, but you need to have strength in depth. All the top countries in the world, they have deep squads. It's not just their first 11. Their squads are really deep with quality. So I think Sam Edozie is someone that should be looked at as well in terms of a nationality switch. And then Nathan Teller. Nathan Teller, that's a bit Nathan Teller. Nathan Teller, he was invited by Pesero and he played a couple of games, never played substantial minutes, I think about 10 or 15 minutes thereabout. And then he's not been invited anymore. I don't know what's happening. That's a strange one for me. It's a really, really strange one, in my opinion, because I think he's a player that can also contribute on the flanks, in the attack as well for the Super Eagles. And like I said, we need strength in depth. If you want to qualify for this World Cup, if you want to do well in this AFCON, you need to have quality, not just your first 11. It's good to have a good first 11. Fine, that's nice. But after the first 11, what's next? How is your bench? If Chukwueze is somehow injured, what would you do? If he's on the yellow card and you have to take him out, how do you replace him? If he's exhausted, what do you do? Do you just replace him with nobody? You need to replace with quality. The Brazil of 1994, 1998. It's not even the 11. When you look at their bench, that's what makes you scared. You look at their bench and say, wow, look at who is even on the bench. And that's what Nigeria needs to get. And the thing is, the talent pool is deep. When you look at the people you have in your homegrown talent you have, in Nigeria, and the talent you have overseas as well, it's a rich talent pool. So I think Nathan Teller should be invited again during whether the AFCON or World Cup qualifiers, and let's get him on board. So I'd like to know your thoughts on this starting lineup, this starting 11. Any of these players do you think, do you share my opinion that will really contribute to the team, or you feel maybe not so much? Or do you have other names as well that you'd like to see invited, have not been invited, have not been capped before for the Nigerian Super Eagles? Whether you have any other name, let me know in the chat, or you can come on screen and let's talk about that. So let me know. So I'll take this off, and I don't know if any of you usually watches the Obi-Wan podcast, that's the Mikel Obi podcast, where he's now giving his opinion. He's become a pundit now, and he talks about different things happening, especially things that are happening in Chelsea, and of course he talks about things that happen in Nigeria. He talked about this guy. I don't know if I can show you. He talked about this guy in blue, former Chelsea legend. Say Goose Poyet, rather Chelsea legend Goose Poyet. Said he texted the guy. Gustavo Poyet was talking about coaching Nigeria, or rather was being shortlisted to coach Nigeria, and he gave him his opinion on that. So what do you think about Gustavo Poyet? Do you think he's good enough to be a Nigerian coach? Because for me, I feel if you're getting any new coach right now, he must be a level above Eguaveon at least. And in my opinion, I don't think Gustavo Poyet, with all due respect to him, I don't think he's that much of a better coach than Augustine Eguaveon. I may be wrong, but I don't think he's that much of a better coach. For me, if you're getting a foreign coach, don't just get another foreign coach. Get a foreign coach that can actually change, move the team forward, push the needle for the team. Because I'm not against foreign coaches. I'm not one of those people that say, oh, the coach must be from the country. No. For me, get the best coach available that can do the job, that can come and hit the ground running, that has that tactical expertise, that can read the game very well, that can make the right changes when they have to be made, that can make tactical tweaks when, that can see the team win a game that they are drawing, or draw a game that they are losing, or get maximum points from games. So for me, it doesn't matter where the coach is from, but the coach must be quality. So I'm not saying that Eguaveon is the best coach in the world, but if you're going to get a new coach, then you must get a coach who is way, way better than he is, in my opinion. So at this point, I want to show us a video about something that you should be expecting on this channel, and that is Next Gen Naija. Hello, Prince. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You're mute. Yeah. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit
Oh,
more.
okay.
Kind of having less of issues and all.
So I'm sure you've heard like most of the things we've talked about. So I want to ask you now, because I don't know if you listen to Mikel Obi's podcast or you watch his podcast.
Sorry, I
I
didn't get that.
don't know if you watch Mikel Obi's podcast.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, because the way it goes on about it, like everyone texts him, everyone talks to him anything about Nigerian football. Like he's the main guy, But he was saying, former Chelsea player, is it Poyet, um, was asking him if he would be the coach, about being the coach of the Super Eagles.
Former Chelsea player. Former Chelsea player.
Gustavo Poyet, that is one of those old school Chelsea players. Let me show this, put this thumbnail here. This guy in the Chelsea here. Yeah, so this Gustavo Poyet here. So I want to first off, what do you think about Eguaveon? You happy with him, or he can leave and someone else should come in?
Okay. I watched the first game at Rio, and I would say that the game was it was decent. It was okay. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the second game for me to know how he normally fare for away, like
Games.
for away matches. But if I compare it to the other coach, the Portuguese, it's totally different. He's more attack minded. He's more, I prefer his own approach rather than the other coach's approach. But I do not know if we do have very good options at the moment for to have like a decent coach. Nigeria as a country, we deserve a very good coach that could take us to greater heights. But honestly, what options do we even really have at the moment? That's just the question.
Because NFF, they're never able to get. First off, I was saying to the last one that came on, you're not going to get Guardiola, you're not going to get Klopp, you're not going to get Ateta. You're not even going to get a top level championship coach. You're not going to get probably someone that played for Germany in maybe 1991 or 1989 that has coached
Mm,
maybe 3 times somewhere. Then they bring him, to be the coach. So for me, I'm not someone that say, oh, it must be home based. If you're a very good coach, if you're good enough, if you can show your style of play immediately, then okay, fine and good. But if you have someone who's already doing the job well, I think you keep him in the job. If you see someone that is really, really good, that is way better than him, okay. But otherwise, there's no need to rush, to get any other coach. First off, they say after the Rwanda game, they say he has retired, that is resigned, that government has resigned.
yeah, I was surprised about the resignation. Like, what was the reason for the resignation? What happened?
Yeah, they say what they said was that he had 2 games, that the whole thing was meant for 2 games, and then he's done his remit. They played the 2 games, so now he's leaving the job. And then afterwards, he's come back to say he's never resigned. He's still in the job. They're going to have a discussion with NFF, to see how they can push the team forward. You know,
our dear nation.
Their country. It's not a small thing. And then for this
Uh,
one, I don't know whether your heart was broken by this as well as my heart was broken that it didn't happen. But how do you feel about this guy? I think he will be making his debut. He's making his debut today in the
who
Turkish league.
who Sancho?
Osimhen, Victor Osimhen.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, today.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's it will be interesting actually to see how Osimhen copes with
Yeah.
um copes
And you
with
know that we almost signed that he was
Galatasaray.
supposedly wanted to sign him.
Yes, yes, and there was this issue about him. I think I saw something about him eventually sacking his agent and all of that. So for the Osimhen situation, for me personally, I do think that um I don't know what happened with the agent that led for him to sack his agent, but I equally think that Chelsea on the other hand, with their new policy and everything, it was just a little bit difficult getting that deal through with all of the policy that Chelsea have been have put in place in terms of signing new players and all of that. I know a lot of fans would say, "Oh, their fellows took a pay cut and all of that and all of that," but in reality, Osimhen is not just an average player. With all due respect to Felix and all of that, Osimhen is Africa's best player. Osimhen won the Scudetto. Sorry, Osimhen was the highest goal scorer last season. No, the previous season. He got Napoli their league win for over 30 years. So there should be some level of respect be added to his name. You can't just all in the name of you want to cut costs in terms of player salary and all of that, and you offer him something that is way, 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 way below. At least if not for anything, there's some form of reputation that precedes Osimhen and all of that. But well, I think he just wanted to move out of Napoli, and eventually he found a way to go. But I also think that Chelsea might go for him by January. But with the new situation about clearly Todd Bowley, is the whole thing is just honestly sometimes I'm just like my lord, I'm just tired. What is going on? Like this is not just I know. Just too many inconsistency and so many things going on. So, but anyways, we nice for see what Osimhen is all about in Galatasaray. I'm sure he's going to kill it. So
Yeah, for
we'll
me,
see.
like I was refreshing my phone. I was refreshing my X feed every second to see whether the deal had been completed. I'd already prepared thumbnail, prepared everything, the video I would make, and all that. But it didn't turn out. It didn't work. And for me, I feel like people saying you take a pay cut is just a joke. Because for me, I said Victor Osimhen, he didn't ask for his salary to be doubled. He said, just give me what I'm earning now. And most star
Mm,
players, when you're signing them, they want at least you double their salary or their wage. He wanted just keep me where I am, and he wanted to take a pay cut. And some figures I was seeing, like £68,000, a week. What are you talking about? £120,000 a week. Like for me, £5,000 a week is mad money. Don't worry about it. For me, £5,000 a week or even £2,000 a week is mad money for me. But footballers are in a different world altogether. There are players who want 600,000, 500,000. You know, and people are talking about Jean Felix. Jean Felix is a good player, no doubt. Jadon Sancho, good player, no doubt. Pedro Neto, good player, no doubt. But for the past, I would say 2+ seasons, the main need of Chelsea has been a striker. That has been the main thing. A lot of chances created, no striker to finish up the chances. And you have Victor Osimhen. That's the only top
Yeah,
striker you can get. Yo Keresh, you have to pay
that,
his buyer clause. You know. So for me,
that's
and yeah, go on.
yes, that's the honest truth. Because I'm sorry to cut you, everyone, but that's the honest truth. Because I've seen a lot of people or a couple of people they are like, Enzo Maresca might just be trying this whole false nine thing. Okay, with Jackson, that for for how many years we've not gone to Champions League, and you still want to try for 2.5 seasons, you want to continue with some experiment of false nine.
Think Frozen. Not good, not good, not good. Yeah, so for me, no, unfortunately, Prince has fallen off. Okay, he's back. Okay, I'll add him back now. Yeah, yeah, I've added you back now. So you were saying, like, can you hear me? Like, can you hear me, Prince? Can you hear me? You were making your point earlier about Victor Osimhen. I think you're on mute. I think you're on mute. Can you hear what I'm saying? Okay, technical problem. So I agree with you that Victor Osimhen, because Victor Osimhen, I think, is the kind of striker, is a profile of player, that Chelsea needed. But for whatever reason, they didn't complete it, and we have a bunch of, number tens and a lot of wingers. You know, so I agree. I agree with the last speaker with Prince. Saying Victor Osimhen was kind of striker that was needed, but whatever reason, Chelsea refused to complete the deal. So that's gone. And but for Nigeria, it's good news, and for Galatasaray fans as well, I think it's good news for them. He's going to play well and probably score up to 15 to 20 plus goals this season. So that's good. That's good for them. Very good for them. And then so the next thing I wanted to check out again is another lineup with a few new faces added on there. Okay, you're back. Yeah, so can you hear me now? Yeah, you're on mute. You're on mute. Your microphone is on mute. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So can you hear me now? Okay. Let's just give spend some time to sort his technical issues out. So for me, I agree Victor Osimhen just should have got him, but didn't get him. But for Nigerians, it's a good thing he's moved to a place where he's going to play, he's going to be valued, and he score lots of goals, and that form can be brought into the Super Eagles for the qualifiers, AFCON, World Cup qualifiers, and other tournaments coming on. Now, this is another lineup I'm looking at because, like I said, it's about enriching the squad, adding more players. Look, can you hear me now, Prince? You're back?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just say the Victor Osimhen thing, it didn't happen. So, but for Nigeria, it's good. It's somewhere where he's going to play, and hopefully he'll score lots of goals, and that can help us, for the AFCON qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, and when the AFCON starts properly itself. And now this starting 11, I'm looking at, I have some new faces added here, and I want to know what you think about these players. So that's just basically new faces on here, because sometimes Nigeria we look at first 11 and we die with the first 11. We don't want to add any new blood to the team. So most of these players here will need some nationality switch or something before they can play for Nigeria. But for me, this boy, if you I don't know if you've seen him before or you've watched him before, but if you haven't, maybe you watch him. Ugo Ogbu. That's Igohogbu. A central defender, just like Rudiger. When I saw some videos of him playing, I just said this is Nigeria's own Rudiger. And if you want to play that three at the back, I think this is a player that you know would contribute will contribute a lot to the team. So I know what you think about our viewers as well. What do you think about this player? And I also had him in the last unseen lineup. Let me know in the chat as well. And then this goalkeeper, Wrexham, is the Wrexham goalkeeper, Ato Okonkwo. He used to play for Arsenal, but then he moved on loan to Wrexham. Then he got released by Arsenal, and now he's playing for Wrexham in League One. But I know it's League One, but he's been in very good form. So I wonder what your thoughts are on these players. Or let me just say, what are your thoughts on the squad as a whole? Do you think there's any position that needs any new face or new blood?
Well, so far, to be honest, I'm saying a couple of names here. Some I do know, some I do not know.
Okay.
However, I do feel like our major problem has always been creative pass from the middle of the pack. Um, um, this dude from Atlanta, Lookman, he has been, I think he has been carrying the load a little bit off Osimhen, and he has been creative, but more from an attacking perspective, maybe from the wings. But I still feel we need a deep line playmaker, someone that's very creative and good with passes, like when we had the Michels and the JJ Okochas. I know Okocha wasn't exactly deep, but someone that is very, very good with the ball on his feet in terms of maybe dribbling, then have someone that knows how to pick passes like Mikel and all those kind of things. As for attacking options, Nigerians we have plethora of attacking options, and it's just a matter of a coach that will have the consistency of have a plan, have his tactics on, have his his system spot on, and we as fans, Nigerian fans are almost like Chelsea fans, very very impatient. People that be a little bit patient with the coach that knows what he's doing, and with time we can actually get to develop and improve because is so blessed with so many good players. From now, I'm very much impressed with I think the left back. There's the left back that played at you. I've forgotten what his name was, but the guy
It's
was quite
Oyemachi,
decent.
Bruno.
Onyekachi, yeah. The guy was
Yeah.
decent. Aina has always been consistent. These are very decent in terms of when it comes to African football. Nigeria are like top uh, of the ladder when it comes to very good players. But Dele Bashe, I didn't really see much of him. It was when he came for the game at you, it was quite okay. It was decent and all of that. Osho, did Osho was has Osho been called to Nigeria?
No, he hasn't been called. So some of these names here, they have not been called to the team. It's just players that can be called to fill a particular position. Like some
Okay.
of these players, like
Oh, okay.
Kule Osho,
Oh,
he still is Nigerian and Italian. There has been no nationality switch yet for him, so that one is still
okay.
there. Sam Edozie, the same thing. His own is England, is still there. And then
Okay.
Kayode too is Italian still. But Gabriel Osho, I think he was invited once, but I don't know what was it, injury or something that made him
Okay.
miss, that game, that
Mm,
was called for. And then this is Fisayo's brother, but he was the person that was first invited. So they are both central midfielders. Because for me, like I said, I will mention his name again. He will be. It's not like he's a bad player, but if you want to play this formation where you have these two midfielders, because there's no luxury player in that midfield, at least there's not meant to be any luxury player. You need people who can go coast to coast, do the two things, defend well, win the ball, and then also be creative if you want to go with this two-man midfield. I don't think Iwobi can
mm,
really, can really cut it there. So you need people who are energetic and can be creative on the ball. So for me, the person I've been impressed with is this Akin Simiro. I'll just put his video up in a few minutes and then we can see just a short video. And then this Collins is another mobile defender that can be invited. So these are just people that can be invited to fill certain positions, not to come into the first 11 per se, but to give strength in
yeah.
depth. Because last
Yeah.
Nations Cup we took Ahmed Musa to Nations Cup to say experience, whatever. When we know he will not be
Mm.
able to even play a minute, you know. So if you want, why not take him? I will tell you, why not take him as assistant coach if you want him to come along? Take him as an assistant coach or as running coach or whatever, and then you
Yeah.
put someone in
If they
that
really want
actual
him to
spot
be there.
that deserves to be there and that can actually play. So now I'll just put this video up of Akin Simero because he's not perfect yet. He's still. Let me remove this one now from here. He's not perfect yet. He's still a young player, but I think he has the attributes to. What is this thing? Okay, 1 second. Come off. Bring it back on here. I've seen before. He's not the complete player, but I think he has some good qualities.
Okay. Okay. Well. Of course, no one, no one will reject an opportunity to, improve on the team. It's a welcome idea. Um, as for the keeper, Ukonko, I think he plays. It's easy for Arsenal, so I don't know where
Yeah,
he
I think
plays.
no, he plays for Wrexham now. He was at Arsenal as Arsenal Academy
Oh,
player, and then they
yeah,
loaned
yeah,
him
yeah. He
out,
was an academy. Yes, Arsenal academy. Okay, okay, okay,
and
okay.
then they loaned
So
him
in the
out to
keeping,
direct to Wrexham, and then Wrexham for
yeah,
whatever reason didn't sign him, didn't try to sign him. Then Arsenal released him, so then Wrexham now signed him.
yes.
Yes,
It's
so
interesting for the good. It's interesting for the goalkeeper position in Nigeria because Nwabali is there. Okoye has
mhm.
been given some form of breather, but I think today I watched him with his team with the Lens. He seemed like the team, they feel very confident in having him as their first choice keeper, and it's quite decent. So I'm looking at, if at some point he will be reintroduced into the team. But I guess so far as Mobile is doing a great job. Look, I could have said Okonkwo is someone you should probably try and look out for because um we've always had an issue with goalkeeping position, but I guess right from last AFCON up till now, Wabali has been doing a decent job. But the keeper is maybe the Okonkwo of a guy, is someone I think that should be asked to come to showcase what he can do, all of that. As for Toby, well, it will not be bad, but I think Toby is I think he's technically gifted than Shea. Shea is solid, but I think Shea has a problem with his ball carrying abilities. He has a problem. I watched the real game. He was always moving forward. You see, he was always trying to tell him move forward, and he's always being too careful and like doesn't have that confidence of in carrying the
Mhm.
ball and all of that. But for Toby is someone that has experience, Man City, Chelsea, playing in. So for me, I think that will not be bad since we are obviously most of. I think so far in the national team we are more stable with the back
Yeah,
situation. So if it's something they want to consider, I think it's actually a good idea. So they can try Toby too. And for the rest of the guys in their respective club, if they are doing well, of course, it's a way for you to give them the opportunity or chance for them to come and try it and see how we can still improve the team and still create competition. Because sometimes when you have when a team has like his lone 11 players, then you don't have this issue where you see some players feeling like they're bigger than the country or they can give one funny excuse or injury, this, that.
mhm,
But when you have this kind of competition and everything, you know that when you feel like you're too big or you're indisposed, you have someone that can readily take your position and will deliver.
exactly.
So
Another thing is age as well. Like
yes,
Ekong is
yes.
36 years. Many people don't know that. He's 36 years. That is young for a regular person. But once you're a footballer, 36 years, is you're beginning to you start considering retirement, how you want to end your career, things like that. It's 36. And you don't want is you don't want him to just retire and then you begin to struggle to look for someone to take up that spot. And I think while he's in the team, it's a good time for you to bring someone like Tosin if if he's willing, if he's open to joining. Of course, we're not begging anybody, but make moves to get him. After all, Nani Madueke has made his debut for England, you know,
Mm,
and I think he will play the required amount of games to be captain with England because the Carsley, who is the interim coach now, he's the one that has been
yes, he
coaching under
is.
21s and he really likes Madueke. He's always
Mm,
been playing him for the under 21, so I'm sure he's going to give him more games, and that one is gone. So for me, I think right now the way it is now, look at France. How many teams can leave someone like Nkunku at home and go to the World Cup and not even
mm,
think about it, not even be bothered? Nkunku is French, but he was injured, recovering from injury. Other teams that will beg him, they'll carry him to the tournament. Medical staff will try to get him to be fit and all that, but because of their strength in depth, I said, okay, stay back at Chelsea, recover. We'll be fine without you. And that's the thing. First 11 is good. You have a good first 11. But what happens when someone is injured or you want to tweak something tactically, or someone is tired or on the booking, you have to change the player, those sort of things. So I think that's what they should, consider. For the one that pains me is Ebereze. I knew Ebereze wanted to play for Nigeria. I knew that for sure. I knew. I knew that. I was among some people. I didn't speak to him directly, but I knew people that were talking with him, and I knew he even wore Nigerian jersey when the Super Eagles came to the UK and all that. Somehow they just they just messed up that one. They messed that up, and he's going to play for England, and that's over. Can you mind that kind of creativity in that midfield?
do you know that one day I was asking myself, I was just asking myself, I was just say, just imagine if we had access or we could before those people established in the various countries had
Hmm.
access to the best of the best players. Imagine what Nigeria would be in Africa. Imagine you had the Dele Allis, you had the Akanjis, you had the Alaba, you had Musiala, you had all the people with Nigerian
Hmm.
links, the Maduekis and the Ebelechis. It's like, first, how will they all fit the Super Eagles? Number one. Number two, the team will be insane. Insane. Nigerians will be like,
Like
it
I'm
will
telling
be,
you, because
it will be crazy, honestly.
be a
It will
team
be
that
crazy.
could win the World Cup. I tell you, if you could get all the players eligible to play for Nigeria, the team could win the
Hmm,
World Cup. But it's just that even the ones at home, like even the ones that sort of develop from Nigeria and are still playing and just have that one nationality, we're not even doing enough to get, to get those
hmm,
players in. Like there's a show that will be coming up next gen Nigeria. There's this boy, Jude Sunday. He's a special player. I've not seen that kind of player before because he plays with both foot. He's a winger that plays with both foot. And the way he plays, he can play on either side, you know.
hmm,
Guys play on the left and invert with his right and shoot. Play on the right, invert with his left foot and still shoot and still cross. So that one is there.
hmm.
So we have all those talents, and then the ones we're talking about that have, like even this Chelsea youngster, Tyreek George, is Nigerian as well.
Tyreek Jones, yes.
Tyreek George
Yeah,
is
so
Nigerian
Tyreek
as
Jones is
well.
on
Yeah, it's Nigerian. It's Nigerian as well. So that very skillful player. Then look at this boy as well. There's this one that's Rio Ngoma, is it? At first, when people say he's
Hmm.
Nigerian, I'm like, Nigerians have come again. Any name
This
that
other
sort of
striker,
sounds somehow will say
this other striker in Scotland, is it Leseres or something? What's his
Desas,
name?
as in Cyril Desas, something like that.
Yeah, he said he was not happy that they didn't call him this last time and all because he was doing well in Scotland and
I
he
don't.
felt like he should have gotten
For
a
me, I
call
think
up.
that one has been invited sometime, but I think
Yes,
he's
and he
someone that
invited that
does well at club,
he didn't impress.
and then when it comes to national team, he kind of struggles or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's not used to the African way.
African pitch. For me, invite them, give them cap. If they impress, yeah, they impress. If they don't impress, okay, they don't impress. That's it. Now, for you to just let them slip through. African football humbles everybody. When you come to Africa, you'll be humbled. As in, you don't come in with, I play in Real Madrid and I'll look down on anybody. You come to Africa, you must humble yourself and play. So I think all these players can and should be added, to give strength in depth. Even one 16-year-old that was at Chelsea before, but now he's going to play for Liverpool. Is it Rio Ngoma? Some people say he was Nigerian. I was like, no, Nigerians have come again because the name wants to sound like a Nigerian name. We are saying it's Nigerian. But I checked it, he's
Hmm.
actually Nigerian, a high profile young talent. These are people that you should be looking at because for me, Lamine Yamal now has broken everything. People used to say, 16 years, you can't play for a national team. 17 you can't play. But look at what he's done for Spain. So I think all those things should be considered. We're not saying bring them in and let them immediately replace Ademola Lookman. No, if it's 10 minutes, if it's 5 minutes, they're getting used to the team. So 3 years, 4 years, when Lookman retires or stops to play or something like that, you have someone to replace him and you have strength in depth as well. So, because I know these players at their young age, they really want to play for Nigeria. It's when they start to get older that things begin to change. So there's this before we end the video, there's this show Next Gen Nigeria that I'll be having on the channel as well. So I'll just put it up there. So essentially talk about new talents coming up. take it out. So essentially, that will just talk about players that will be eligible to play for Nigeria. So it could be ones who have dual nationality, it could be ones who just have Nigerian nationality, to get them involved. Because something that happened during this Victor Osimhen transfer, I was like, for a player who is up to the level of Victor Osimhen to be treated the way he was treated, that goes to tell you that you can imagine a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old of Nigerian origin, the way they look at that player. If someone like Victor Osimhen that has scored all everywhere he's been, is it Belgium, he scored lots of goals. France, Lille, played Champions League, scored against Chelsea even, led the attack, went to Napoli, scored all those goals, helped them to win their first Scudetto title in 30 years. Still, look at the way he was treated. And I bet you, if Palmer wants to leave Chelsea now, I'm not talking about, let him, if he plays and wins title. No, if he wants to leave Chelsea now, right now, I'm sure he'll be more than 100 million pounds. I'm sure that's the value that will be put on him. If Palmer, if they say now, Palmer, Real Madrid wants to sign him or Bayern Munich or something, he will be at least 100 million for sure. And all this is because of not just the ability, of course, is important, but it's the narrative that is created around us with the stories that are created around them, And that happened, like Victor Moses. When Victor Moses was still at least maybe looking to play for England, the way they were talking about him, like he's a new Messi, this, that. The moment he switched nationality to Nigeria, all that hype, all that praise of superstar player vanished. And while, like I said, on one hand, it's good for European media to promote this player, it's good, but you don't expect them to. You have to do your own bit to promote this player. So that's what that show will be about, to talk about those players that are eligible to play for Nigeria, including those ones who just have Nigerian nationality and those who may be dual nationals as well, and may be looking to play for Nigeria. So I think at this point we've come to the end of the video. Thank you, Prince, for being on here. I'll reach out to you offline. So hopefully on the next episode you join me as well. So it's been fun having you here as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right. All right. You're welcome. Bye. So thanks everyone for being on here. See you on yet another stream. And God bless you and have a perfect day. Bye-bye.